Okay, here we are, folks, back in VP4TV, and we've got a little surprise tournament. In fact, I haven't even checked. Hold on a minute. It's a one pocket tournament. I think there's only going to be 3 in it, and it helps if you have the right page. Hang on a sec. Match is underway at the moment, and we have Hairpig from the States up against who the hell is it he's playing? Cold as Pillow. Now, when did this start? What time of day is it? 1:30. Why can't... There it is. One pocket on the 10-foot table. I presume it's going to be tight pockets. In fact, it's very tight pockets. And it's set up as a race to 2. And let's have a look. We will see that One PocketSlim is in the final. And these two guys are battling out to meet him. So let's have a look. Now, one pocket is exactly what it means. It means that there are 6 pockets in the table, but the only real live pockets in terms of scoring are the top left and top right pockets. And in this case, as we look down the table, Hairpig is working on that right side pocket, and he's already on 4 points. So this is probably one of the most strategic games. Now, I am far from any sort of expert at this game, but I would suggest that it's probably one of the most strategic games that you can ever play, let alone real life or virtual pool 4. There is a lot of strategy involved in controlling your pocket and protecting the set of balls and manoeuvring them into better positions. And now, why the hell is Hairpig only in the room himself? One is Cold as Pillow not going to show? He's signed up, I think. Well, I'm sure he's signed up. The two of them are supposed to be playing, but he's nowhere to be seen. So in that case, if this times out, it will go to the final straight away. So I don't know why Cold as Pillow's signed up if he's not going to come in, because we're already, 6 minutes past the time. In fact, I never even looked at the HUD to see who was actually playing. I didn't realise that Hairpig's only in here until it times out. But anyway, if Cold as Pillow doesn't show, in this case it will be One PocketSlim, who, the clue's in the name, that's probably one of his favourite games, although the main problem that One PocketSlim has is that there's only probably 1 or 2 other players who'll actually dare to play this game, because it's not really all down to your potting ability, this game, because the pockets are very tight. It's whether you've got a head for strategy that's probably the very important thing about it. And probably Steve will disagree or agree. And Steve, of course, himself, Steve Chaplin, that is, who's the game developer, he likes One Pocket as well, but can't get enough people interested in it to actually play a tournament of it. It would have been interesting to see how Cold as Pillow would handle this game, because he's the sort of new kid on the block and has showed a lot of potential, getting to the Cowboy World Championship final in the last tournament, and doing pretty well right now in the 8-ball World Tournament that we have running right now. So I thought it'd be interesting to actually catch a one pocket match. And, well, that's what you don't do. You don't do that. Although it is a good safety shot. It's a pretty good safety shot, that locking the cue ball in the pocket unintentionally. But like I said, I mean, I think Hairpig isn't averse to actually playing one pocket, or he wouldn't have signed up for the tournament. But we'll see how it goes, because it's looking very likely that Cold as Pillow is probably assuming that nobody was going to sign up. Maybe he's got scared. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because he saw Slim signed up, he thought he was going to come in and have one over on maybe Hairpig, but he's maybe been frightened away. And we've got about a minute to go up. I'm assuming it's a 10-minute timeout, so this will probably time out, and we'll have a final. So we will have one game, one match at least to watch. The only thing about One Pocket in Virtual Pool 4, which is a bit old hat to me, is the actual HUD at the top left of the screen. The top left of the screen shows you arrows for each player, and obviously at the moment Hairpig's playing against himself, but on the profile that he has at the moment, in the bottom of the HUD, he's playing into that top left pocket. And the arrow above that is going into the top right pocket. So you've got to obviously remember what pocket you're working with. And it's so easy to get yourself confused. I know that's my experience, having did a bit of testing with One Pocket a long while ago, was just getting disorientated going around the table. Good One Pocket players probably don't do that, but it would be nice if your pocket was sort of highlighted or animated in such a way to maybe make it a bit more obvious. But in real life, you don't have it obvious. It's bare bones. You just have to remember your pocket. Well, I think we're past the timeout period. The questions are going to be asked of Cold as Pillow, is what happened to him. Signed up using his $3, and well, there you go. There's the result. So we're going to have a final, folks. That's really exciting. And the final will be Hairpig against One PocketSlim in a race to 2. Let's see if this will update. There we go. So now we've got a bit of competition. And we're just waiting on that room going up. And we'll get in, we'll have the lag for the break. So these are very tight pockets. You can't get them any tighter in Virtual Pool 4. This being a 10-foot table. You don't have any manoeuvre or room to manoeuvre on these pockets. So who won the lag? I'm assuming that the what the hell's taking so long? Ah, right, there we go. So Slim's nominated the top right pocket. So when you win the lag in this game, you want to get the first shot in to get control of the table. And of course, where Hairpig is at the moment, he's on his pocket side and all the balls are aiming towards Slim's pocket. So this is where the manoeuvring skills of a player come into play. And one wrong move can very quickly cost you the rack in this game. Now, clearly, he can't come down to this end of the table because that 3 ball would just be tucked up the rail over the pocket. So now Slim's on his pocket side. I can't even remember what it's a race to. I think is it a race to 7 points in one pocket? We'll find that out in a minute. That shows you how much I know about it. It's a game also that can be played with a handicap, given a set amount of balls to a low-rated opponent. I tend to describe this as a game for the connoisseurs of strategy. So that move there by Hairpig gets a ball over to his side. And Slim will probably just bunt this ball and get the cue ball through and try and bring it back over to his side. So right now, from an uneducated observer, Slim at the moment has got control of the table in terms of where Hairpig's been put. Well, he's going to give away a point here, I think. And that is a foul because although the cue ball hit a ball, it didn't go on to hit a rail. So he's now on -1 in the HUD. So he now owes a ball. I mean, that, I presume, is not a bad thing. Yes, you've lost a point, but you're still protecting the cue ball. So Slim looks as if he's going to try and bank the cube. I thought for a minute they was going to try and bank that cue ball, and not bank the cue ball, bank the 2 ball, and leave the cue ball down here. But what do I know? Well, he's left the cue ball down this end. More importantly, at the left-hand side, the 3 ball has nudged in off the 10, and Slim is off the mark, and also in a very good position here because he's got 3 or 4 balls that he can pick off. There's a combo he can play. He can cut the 10. So that one good shot there from One PocketSlim has got him a very good scoring opportunity here right now. But we'll know whether it will be after he plays this shot here, because there's a little bit of a cut on it. It's just a question whether he wants to drop it in dead weight or try to dig in and hold the cue ball and stun through the gap. I don't know whether he's got enough room, though. Yeah, he has got enough room. And now, remember, these pockets are very tight. He has a possible cut, and if he gets that wrong, he may well leave Hairpig on. So he's going to protect. He's going to protect himself, which is the right move there. And he could have had 3 or 4 there if that had turned out right, but he wasn't prepared to risk trying to play that combo. That would be probably a sellout move. So Hairpig is 3 balls behind, but he's ducked away into the corner on Slim's side of the table. Now, that 2 ball will bank up and down. It looks as if what he's... Oh, no, I thought going to play the 11 instead. Maybe the angle was not really that great. He still managed to hold the cue ball on Hairpig's side, but Hairpig now has to play another defensive shot here, but he can't really get fully on that 11 ball. He would not probably want to just try and run that 11 ball around the angles of the pocket and leave the cue ball there, but he can't get enough of it. So he's maybe trying to graze it and catch the 10 ball and tuck the cue ball in there. And I don't think that's too bad an outcome. So again, for viewers watching, just a reminder, in the top left-hand corner of the HUD, that arrow is pointing left for Hairpig's pocket, and Slim's is on the right side. Now, I would suggest that was a bit of a mistake. The question is whether Hairpig's got a clean shot at the 6. Well, he does have. Little double kiss in the 8 ball. And that's the first real mistake that Slim has made there. Well, to the uninitiated observer, I keep protecting myself so that people don't think I'm any sort of expert in one pocket. I am not. I know very little about it. Now he has to get the bank in the 10 and again protect the cue ball, not let it go loose. So he'll probably drag the pace off this just to get that 10 ball to his side of the table and keep the cue ball on Slim's side. So at least Hairpig's back into the plus now. But I remember during testing of this game, you start to get a sort of dull headache playing it because your brain's working overtime. Hairpig's asked me if I'm asleep, but not quite. So that potted ball will go into the stack. It's gone into the back of the pack there, in line with the head spot. Presume that's the right terminology, or the head, you know, the spot at the head of the triangle. But again, Hairpig on his side of the table with the cue ball. And again, he might just bunt this 2-ball around the corner. Try and tuck that cue ball up near the 8. He hasn't quite got there, but Slim, had he finished a little bit lower there, he might have been able to bank that 10-ball back across into the 8, but it was a very, very tight shot. But Slim plays the bank up and down in the 2. And he's also got the 1-ball to follow. And probably try and maybe, well, I presume he's not going to try and bump the 10. He's just trying to get into the spot in the 8-ball. Well, he's misjudged the cut. So easy to catch the knuckle in these pockets. Very demanding pockets. And it's a 10-foot table. So this is probably as tough as it gets for a game setup in Virtual Pool 4. Very tight pockets, 10-foot table. Completely different from playing in a 9-foot table. I think I'm not sure whether Hairpig was trying to nudge that 6 into the 8 and push it along the rail there. But he's missed it. Cue ball, of course, is still relatively safe on Slim's side of the table. That's got good pace. That's a good shot. And now, this is where a lot of this strategy comes in. Now that Slim's manoeuvred that 6-ball to his pocket, Hairpig's got to get that out of there, which he can do by kicking in behind it. Any ball into your pocket. As I said at the beginning of this, I think it's the first to 7 points wins you a rack. Bear in mind, there's 15 balls on the table. I don't know whether it's. I can't think it's the first to 8. I'm not sure, but we'll soon find out. Welcome to Napnica. This is a change. I thought it was Napnica. Right, it is. I'm trying to see it on my phone. No, exactly that. All they are is 1 ball. It's a ball value in the sense that 1 ball counts as 1 point. It doesn't matter what they are. But at the moment, Slim has that 3-1 lead. Cue ball on his side of the table, or his pocket side, and that is pretty clever. Risky shot. Cue ball though, look where it's stuck, right in the bunch. And again, he's nudged a ball over to his side. And Hairpig, I would suggest, is in a bit of trouble here. So this is the important part, or one of the many important parts of this game, is protecting the cue ball, especially when you're in this situation, because 1 wrong move here and he's losing this rack. And that's well played. Tucks the cue ball into Slim's pocket, right in the corner. It was good. Slim liked it. Didn't have enough pace to really get that 7 ball right down past the side pocket. And he's looking for a way to maybe cut this back across. I'm not certain what he's doing here. But all the time you're trying to manoeuvre these balls into a better position on your pocket side, you've always got to think about the cue ball. If you get loose just once, the rack can be gone. Another thing about when we were testing this game, because we were so bad at it, and I mean bad, we had balls ending up at the wrong end of the table here, and racks went on for hours. We were so bad. Well, not a bad shot in the end. You still get the cue ball over Slim's side. He's at least cleared 1 ball away from Slim's pocket. So again, Slim has played a 2-way shot there. I don't suppose he was really certain that he would nudge that 15 ball in, but he's got the 7 ball up to his pocket. The 15 ball goes into the stack. And that looks pretty good. That cue ball right at now. That's the probably a standard safety, as you would say in one pocket. You know, sticking the cue ball right into the opponent's pocket and leaving them very little option. Well, that may well cost Slim a ball there, because I think he missed it. Did he? Yes, he did. So just the 1 point in it now. But I think it's probably also agreed that losing 1 point with that shot is far better than making some sort of howler mistake and losing the rack because of it. So that shot there has freed up the 2 ball. Not sure why we're getting a replay, but the 2 glances off the 14. I think it's a 14. It might be the 10, but I can't be bothered going up to look. But it improves Hairpig's situation, because he's also covered that 2 ball by getting the cue ball right into that corner. And likewise, Slim tucks the cue ball right behind the 2 on Hairpig's pocket side. And these balls being as tight as they are, the 8 and the 7, it's pretty difficult at the moment to really improve them a great deal. in favour of Hairpig and getting him over his side, especially getting him away from Slim's pocket. Now, this is a bit, well, it's a mistake because it's now a bit of a teaser for Slim. You know, he could have a go at the 14 past a tight 7 ball, but the danger there is he's leaving the 2 ball if he doesn't get this. But I don't think he'll be drawn into that. I think that was a little bit of a mistake from Hairpig. But Slim's went for it. Gets that point that he lost there back. He's not going to get any more, I don't think. But he can certainly bunt this 2 ball and try and improve that. Leaving the cue ball into the stack again. 2 ball coming down, favour of Slim, and that's a good shot. So Slim very definitely has the upper hand here with the layout of this table. Hairpig's got to be ultra defensive here. Again, one mistake could be fatal. Well, we know where Hairpig's going to be in a second, I think. Maybe not. I thought he was maybe going to tuck him away there. I suppose it's not the best thing to leave the cue ball in your pocket in this situation, because it then would, you know, I mean, I can't see a real problem with tucking the cue ball in behind the 7. But much more experienced one pocket players would say, no, that's a definite no-no. But we've now got 2 balls down table, well away from the scoring end. And Hairpig's now played the kick shot, and again left that cue ball nailed in Slim's pocket. Thus also blocking any type of shot in those 2 balls up table. So again, the cue ball's on Hairpig's pocket side. He's got nothing in his favour at the moment, nothing over his side really. Now, there is a teaser for Hairpig. he can bank this ball, get it in or over his pocket. And then it'll be Slim on the defensive. This is good pace. It's probably going to hang up there. So now Slim will have to get that out of there. Now, is he going to cut this across and try and miss a double kiss? Yes, he is. But he's got the double kiss and got away with it. Leaves the cue ball again on Hairpig's pocket side of the table. And now we are getting a bit of a mess down this end. Well, that's mistake. Mistake simply because he's left what looks like a free shot here to me for Slim to get that either 14 ball or 10 ball. It's a 10 ball tucked up the rail. But again, just got to think about the cue ball. So he'll want the cue ball, I would assume, over the left side. If he gets this in, he'll have probably a shot in the 6 ball. And there we go. That takes him to 4 points. And really in complete control here at the moment, Slim. Dominating with his side of the table with most of these balls. Well, he's looking to see if the kick shot is on. That would be brave. To go to the rail and kick that 1 ball and send the 15 ball in. That would be a sellout shot. Slim might be trying to, Hairpig might be just trying to tuck the cue ball up near that 7. Again, of course, he's on Slim's side of the table, so he hasn't left anything on, I don't think. I mean, he's left another teaser for Slim if he was crazy enough, and I think Slim might be. He looks as if he's going for the bank up and down on the 11 ball. I think it's the 11. Then again, it might be the 13. It's the 13. And that's a good line. Excellent line. Takes him to 6. Hairpig not happy with his pace. I don't know that he can get enough of that 7 ball to nip it in. Well, watch the cue ball. Cue balls ran a bit too far there. It gives Hairpig, well, an all or nothing shot pretty much, I would think, because Slim can cut that 2 ball in. So if he goes for this, it'll be pretty much all or nothing, trying to get that 1 ball in. But he's protected the cue ball. Again, the paramount thing, or at least one of the paramount things in this game, is making sure the cue ball's going to somewhere where you're not selling out. But it just allows Slim to nudge the balls a little closer. He's losing a point there because that cue ball never got to a rail, believe it or not, after hitting that ball. It must be a hair's breadth away from the rail, but it never hit it. So he loses a point. Well, I would suggest it might be a bit of a minor miracle if Hairpig managed to turn this around. I would suggest that he's hanging on by his fingertips here at the moment in this rack. Now there's a brave move there. Cleared the pocket. Has kept the cue ball safe. Trying a little draw to just nudge those balls a little bit closer to the pocket. Another ball has gone in, and this time it's a big mistake from Slim. Ball going to the head of the rack. One ball to start him off. Another free shot here for Hairpig. There's no doubt that that's pretty much a combo, that 4 and 8 ball. There's no way that that's not going in, that 8 ball. And now, well, what does he do here? Does he try and tuck that 7 ball down the rail? Again, got to watch where this cue ball's ended up if he's going to take this on. He's back to within 2 points. He might just be rolling dead weight onto this 8. I wouldn't say that's dead weight, but he's got the 8 ball out of there. He'll be happy with that, I would think. He has left a bank on for Slim, but again, the danger with playing the bank is where the cue ball wants to go. The cue ball wants to come over towards the 2 and leave a 7 ball on, so he's not having it. He's trying to kick the 4 in, and that's a good shot. Gets him back onto 6. And the 1 ball as a bank would be probably the game winner here. Nice pace, but the pockets are tight. That'll hang up. Pockets are very tight, I should say. Well, he can just go into that right side of the 1 ball. Just try and squeeze it away. He's went all out for it. So now we've got a proper mess here. And now it's actually, even though he's 6-3 down, it's a far better table for Hairpig in the sense that the danger's all away. But now there's nothing that's really good for Hairpig. He's now in a position where he can try and manoeuvre something over his side of the table with all these balls down here, but again, there's banks on. And Slim has made a mistake. He can have a go at this 7 ball, get it in or over the pocket, but he's also going to leave that 1 ball on. Well, that was so far away, that shot in the 7, that I don't really believe he played the pot, because I think he's worried about the fact the 1 ball was sitting where it is. I think, it was more protecting the cue ball with that shot. Again, Slim, this looks good. Again, 2 balls in his favour. And once Hairpig looks at this 1 ball, yes, you're clearing the 1 ball, but you don't want to leave a bank on this 8 ball. And that's why he's tucking the cue ball in towards the 8 to protect the cue ball and not leave any sort of bank across left side to right side for that 8 ball. A good shot. I think Slim's got him in a bit of a hole here, to say the least. Well, Slim can bank the 1 to his side of the table and leave the cue ball down in this end of the table. Yes, the 8 ball's over Hairpig's side, but if the cue ball's over in this corner, trying to check and kill the cue ball, keep it left side, Slim again gets control of his pocket. And now again, back to square 1 as far as Hairpig goes, has to get that 1 ball out of there. And the crossover bank to get the 1 in his favour, and that's a good shot. So now Slim will probably have to give up the point here, because the 1 ball is so far in the pocket. So the sort of standard shot there is to pot it, give up the point to Hairpig, but leave the cue ball tucked in deep. And he could possibly be covered by the knuckle here of the pocket. I think he is. I think he's right on the point. That's nasty. No wonder Hairpig says it's mean. That is, that's a pretty good safety shot. You know, you're giving up a point, but you have got your opponent by the short and curlies, as they say. Yeah, so he's just playing the foul. Gives back a point there with that one. And, you know, again, you're not going to be averse to giving up a point if you're in a hole like Hairpig was there. But once again, Slim, with a good touch, has now got the 7 ball pretty much dead. I don't know whether Hairpig can get that out of there. And I think if he pots this, he would surely be giving up the match, the first rack here. I don't think there's any way you can get that 7 ball out of that pocket. Now, I think the strategy here is it not, I'm not sure, is it potting the ball and falling it in with the cue ball? Well, obviously it's the first to 8 points, so now I stand corrected. I knew it was a first to 8 or 7 points. So Hairpig's given up a point there to Slim. Slim is on the hill in the rack, but Slim, like Hairpig was, is nailed in the pocket. But the difference is he can at least see a shot in terms of getting to a ball. But of course, when you have a 4-point lead and 4 of these balls are all on the bottom rail, Hairpig's going to have to be cautious, to say the least, in these next few shots. And again, it would be crazy to cross bank that 15 ball. You've got to kick that 8 ball out of there. He could try and cross bank it, but again, he's got to stay this left side of the table. And he just decided to kick it out. That's going to give One PocketSlim a little bit of a head scratcher. I don't think that's ended up too bad a shot there from Hairpig. Well, again, Slim clears the danger. He leaves a possible bank on, but look where the 8 ball is. The 8 ball is Slim's side of the table. So once again, it's surely got to be protect the cue ball here, or it's an all or nothing attempt at a bank. Well, that's a great shot. A great shot there. So now he can try and send that 8 ball into a better position on his side of the table. I don't know that it's the best of angles to try and do that. Yeah, that's why he's just tucking it around the corner. And now, although these balls that Hairpig needs are down the wrong end of the table, he's in a position where he's still in the game. He's not dead and buried. One mistake and he will be, but he is not out of it. Far from it, I would suggest. And Slim protects the cue ball. But this is a bit more of an inviting shot here for Hairpig to try and get that 2 ball into better shape on his side. He might just be cutting it rather than trying to, in terms of, cutting it from the bottom side and leaving the cue ball right side, just like that. But looking at the way these balls are, although that looked fairly loose, there wasn't any danger of leaving a bank. But again, Slim on the defensive, getting the 2 ball out of there. I think for the most part, and I've mentioned this earlier, One Pocket really is for I think this is a game that appeals to strategists, but for the less knowledgeable, myself included, I hasten to add, it's far from the most exciting game to watch. But I think if you see any games on YouTube by the pros, it might get you to appreciate the skill involved in this game, the mastery required to play this game at the highest level. Yes, we've all said it's boring, it's not exciting, but I think when it's played by two top-end players in real life, then yes, there's a lot to appreciate about the skill involved and the technique. Visualising certain shots, improving your situation, protecting that cue ball. The Slim still with that 3-point lead. And this is what I would call an ugly table right now. Did you watch any of that English billiards? Well, I went on to YouTube the other day, and there was a final. I think it was a World Championship final, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but this guy was scoring. He was scoring like there was no tomorrow. He's probably one of the best English billiards player at the moment. I'm assuming he won the match. There was still 90 minutes left, and he was in 1,000. He was in 1,400 points. He had high runs of 300 odd. The commentator, who's one of the guys that does the snooker, was telling us all the high runs. Cosier, him. Yeah, that's the name, Dave Cosier. He was drilling everything in. And like I said, there was 90 minutes left, but I thought there's no way that guy who's playing is going to get back into this. But there probably is a lot more enjoyment if you're playing it rather than actually a spectator. But spectators who like the strategy stuff and this appreciate it a lot more, I would assume. You know, it's a select audience that would watch this and appreciate what's going on, more so in the strategy side of it. Slim plays the bank, nails it, and wins the first rack. Working. No, it isn't, because I've shut it down. Hang on, I need to switch that on again. Because I'm using, obviously, a different setup here, a different presentation from my World Championship presentation. So I switched the replay off there, so I need to test it works. So that was a good half hour or more, I think, for that first rack. So once again, a reminder for anybody who's accidentally stumbled across this stream, this is Virtual Pool 4 as shown on screen. And we have a rarity here. Rare for me to ever stream a one pocket match. Certainly at this time of the day as well, middle of the afternoon, my time. But we have Hairpig, both of these guys from the States. And Hairpig's pocket is top right-hand side of the screen. And he's looking for a way to get that 2-ball out of there. He might have to give it up. Yeah. So he gives up the point. So Slim is underway. But question is whether he's left anything on here. It's not really looking like he has. That 6-ball blocked off by the 4. I thought he would have won that. I'm pretty certain it was the final I stumbled across. I don't know whether he was from India or wherever the guy that was playing it looked as if he was from sort of that part of the world, somewhere in Asia. Now, what's Fratz talking about? Fratz is a German guy who speaks very poor English or types very poor English, and I haven't the foggiest idea what the hell he's typing. It says 27, try this middle square, and whatever the hell he's talking about, I have no idea. Not a clue. Well, Hairpig is in. Well, it'd be a brave shot here to try and nick that 11-ball in and maybe stun through the gap. I think there's another point here at least for him if he actually gets this in. The problem is that he's in danger of leaving a shot in that 3-ball, and they got too much of the 10-ball. I thought he might have been just trying to squeeze through the gap, but he's now, of course, he's got no shot to get that 3-ball out of there. So he has to protect that, and he'll try and just stun down towards the corner pocket here, I think. And again, I'm the uninitiated at this game. I keep reminding people, but I think that's maybe what he's going to try. Play the 10-ball, stun the cue ball into the corner. And there's a mistake. He didn't get it right. He was trying to get inside it. And he's given a shot here for Slim. Now, it's not the 3-ball that Slim's concerned about. It's about what he's going to do with the cue ball to try and give him another shot. And if that had finished left side of the 10, he would have been sitting fairly good on that 1. He's now back to protecting himself. Well, that's got the 1-ball in Hairpig's favour. Now, Slim could try punching that pink. Is that the pink 12 ball and punch the 1 ball out of there? But that's risky because unless you're a real top player at this game, you need to have a semblance of an idea what you're actually doing and where these balls are going to end up. And just trying to kick it from the other side. And he might have actually given up a shot here. I think he pretty much has. Hairpig can nip the 12, get it in or over the pocket. But is it going to be an attacking shot? Because I don't think he can avoid hitting something here. Well, it's gone in, and it's ended up good. Now, how brave is he? Yes, he can pot the 6. But again, is he going to try and come back across here? That gets him a 2-point lead. I think part of the problem there is he was stuck to the rail, and it's not come out all that good. So he's now got a score to protect here. 1-0 down. Finals just a race to 2. But he's made a mistake, and it could be a big one. Slim can certainly pot the 1. He can come out behind the 4. Oh dear. Well, yes, he's fine that he's got the 1 ball in the pocket. So Hairpig is going to have to give that up. Well, this has got me scratching my head. Is he going to try and tuck the 11 in? It's a brave shot. Has to get it. He's got it. Because he was selling out that 1 ball. Takes him to 6. Those balls aren't setting a combo. And he's going to have to maybe try and nip the cue ball back. To get on this 4 ball, and the angle's not perfect. And he's overcooked it. Now, that 7 ball's got enough of a gap where you could manufacture a combo there, but again, it's a brave shot to take that on. So Hairpig has suddenly got himself on the brink of taking this match all the way. Well, before you arrived, Tam, I was talking about the fact that, this game is a spectator sport. You really have to be a connoisseur of the game to appreciate what's going on. For uninitiated people like myself and you and probably everybody else, it's a long, drawn-out affair for the most part. With what seems to be not a lot going on, but all the time these players are protecting the cue ball, trying to improve the table in their favour each time. So now the shoe's on the other foot here. Slim's the one that's trying to survive, and he's gone all out there. And, well, he can consider himself lucky that cue ball didn't sneak right round behind the 5. Because that would have been all over. I don't know how many games of One Pocket I played, but I can assure you one thing, Tam. Any games on my stats history for One Pocket were all done during the testing in Virtual Pool 4, and I don't even know that's still recorded on this server because we were on a different server when we were testing VP4. So I don't know that I've got any history in the actual game of playing this damn thing, but we did do a fair bit of testing of it. Am I showing 34 games? I bet you I won about 2 of them if I did. And that was torture. That was torture. I mean, we had games that went on for, 2 hours because we were so bad at it. We had all the balls at the wrong end of the table for a start most of the time. And I think that's what then tuned me into the fact that I'm never going near this damn game again. But for me, watching this and trying to commentate on it, the challenge for me is to try and see a shot. Again, for somebody who doesn't play the game, you've got, trying to work out what's a good shot and a bad shot is half the battle. Well, I would suggest that's a big mistake from Hairpig. He's given Slim a free shot. Now, again, I presume that was strategy there for Slim to actually pot the ball and get it onto the stack and get the cue ball in the hole to give Hairpig ball in hand. But has he actually sold out here? No, he hasn't. So we're back to the defensive strategy again for Slim in getting that one ball out of there. Yeah, Slim goes back to 2. He drops a point there. And Slim now has that ball dead in his pocket. So Hairpig is going to have to give him another point here, I would suggest, by potting that one ball and trying to leave the cue ball just on that rim of the pocket. Is this going to have the legs? Is it going to have the legs? No. So Hairpig loses a point, goes back to 6. Slim might get crazy here. Yeah. It hasn't come out all that great for him, but he's back to within 3. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about this setup and these arrows in the HUD. I think it would have been better if a pocket's highlighted, especially when you're playing, because we get totally disorientated playing this game, especially when we had a mess of balls down the wrong end of the table. We're forever forgetting what bloody pocket we had. And now that 6 ball going in, One PocketSlim back to within 2. Oh, welcome to Pot, man. We're all worrying and how things are going. How are you doing? Don't just tell us you're still alive. We can see that. Well, that's another good shot from Slim. But Hairpig takes on the cut. Doesn't get it. And Slim Going to bank the 5 onto his ball if he can. I mean, that ball's in the pocket, there's no doubt about it, but I think... Well, I'm wondering why... Slim didn't bank the 5 onto that ball and get and guarantee him a second ball. That I'd need to ask him about that strategy, because I thought it would have been the brave shot would have been to play the bank and get the 5 ball, nudging that ball in, leaving the 5 ball over the pocket for another ball. But anyway, as I said, what do I know? Well, you haven't got a PC. Well, what happened to the other one? Did it die on you? In fact, well, I didn't even know you had a problem with the PC. More to the point, you never told us anything that you were having issues. I upgraded to Windows 11 on my non-compliant Windows 10 PC. Well, I checked the schedule not long before this match started, and I didn't know there was going to be a One Pocket tournament. But we're going to have words with Coldest Pillow, because he signed up for this, and we had 3 in the tournament. We had Slim, Hairpig, and Coldest Pillow, and I thought, oh, I'll maybe do a bit of streaming of this. I believe Slim is streaming this at the moment. And then Coldest Pillow didn't show up, so I don't know what. I think I'm going to wind him up, because I'm going to say that he bottled out when he saw Slim was in it. I think maybe Hairpig was just in it at the time, and Coldest Pillow fancied his chances, but got scared when he saw Slim had signed up, and there was no sign of him in the building. So I am going to wind him up good and proper. I can guarantee you that. Well, I mean, strange although I say it, and touch wood, my PC has actually been more stable since I did the workaround to get Windows 11 installed. I've had it installed for what, a couple of months or more now, and again, I haven't had any problems with my live streams, and I'm saying nothing else in case I bloody jinx myself. But right now we've got Slim on the hill. How did that happen? Oh, well, Slim's now got the pink over his pocket. There's a invitation to the bank here for Hairpig, and he's got to know he's selling out here if he doesn't get this. If this doesn't go in, it's all over. So you'd be crazy to have a go at that. But he can... I don't know that he can cut this across and avoid the double kiss. He might just be bunting it around the coil. He has tried it. He's hit that too heavy. Way too heavy. But I think he had to maybe to get this cue ball to stay left side. Well, that's the thing, Potman. My problem is I would love to get a new PC, and whenever I got a PC, in the last 2 that I've had, they've all had top of the range graphics cards in them. So we're talking, more than a couple of grand, and I'm in no situation to do that, because I mean I want something that'll play high end games, and at the moment my graphics card is still good enough, although on lower settings nowadays because of its age. I mean, there's never any danger of the fact that it's not going to run VP4. Now, you've been out of touch for a wee while. I take it you know that there is a beta version of Virtual Pool 4 online that you can download. If you'll notice, you can see the text is different. It's a different font on my screen because I'm on the beta version of the online, which has now got language translation implemented for Vietnamese and German in the online game. And Steve's doing more updates that he's going to release at some point in the not too distant future. He's also going to add more fonts so that you can choose the font you like, because from what we've seen, most people don't like the font that we have on the beta version at the moment. So there's things happening. Well, the beta is, as I said, for the language localization that's been added to the game. And the reason he added Vietnamese as one of the languages is because we've had quite a few Vietnamese players, albeit that they are gratis, but we've had them coming into the game. No, he's not giving any information like that out. He has spoken when he's been in the stream with me about hiring a graphics designer to do a big upgrade on the graphics for the game. I mean, I would suggest that that's all a long way away, but it's all in the pipeline. As for games, I've been having a go at them to get Killer into the game, because I think that would be hilarious. I think, and there's a number of people over the years have hounded him about Killer. I've seen Killer played with 10 people on a YouTube video, and it was funny. You can get really down and dirty in that game. Well, the chances are, as and when you ever get round to getting a PC, things may well be that little bit different when you come back. Although you can keep up to date by, catching some of my live streams where Steve's in, because if ever you want to ask him something, then we've got him cornered. We can ask him. And I tried to find that video that I watched. I watched the full half an hour or so of it, with 10 guys all playing Killer, right? You had some that were numpties, who were, could, just pot a ball. And you had other ones that were fairly competent. And of course, they were playing with handicaps. And it was really good. I enjoyed watching it. And I think it would be a great multiplayer game in Virtual Pool 4, where you could play, everybody could put money into the pot and have a 10-player game of Killer. I've got what the hell game is it? I've got that pool game on Steam. Something I've forgotten the name of it. What Pool Nation FX, and it's got Killer in it. And that Pool Pro, Pure Pool Pro is coming out. I would steer well clear of that if you're a Virtual Pool 4 player, because you're not going to get any great enjoyment out of it. It's way too slow because you're having to play with a controller and line up shots and all of that stuff. It's too tedious. That's the thing that keeps bringing you back to Virtual Pool 4, that you can get down and shoot balls, and you do very little messing about to shoot a ball in Virtual Pool 4, and the fact you're using a mouse gives you the best control over shots as well. Yes, it's got online and it's still active. I mean, I did a video a while ago there, about a few months ago, just to double check and see whether it was still alive. And there were still guys playing online. And there you go. There's the winning shot there from One PocketSlim. A 2-0 victory. And, well, that's also an example of how you can be, 6 or 7-3 down and battle your way back into this and pinch it. And well done to Slim. So he is the champion of One Pocket for however long it's going to be until the next One Pocket tournament goes live. Right, we'll have a quick look at that schedule. I don't think there'll be anything additional to it, but if you look at the chat, it says try out the 64-bit beta. It has Vietnamese and German translation put in. You can download it in the downloads section on your account in your profile, and then you'll get continuous updates for that when Steve adds them. So we'll have a look at this 8-Ball World Championship. I don't think there's anything changed. Oh, there we go. We've got Spectre Dawn and Rabi, who lost last night. Poor Rabi. He gets Albinario last night in his second round match. Both of them got a bye. And Albinario gave him an education. And poor Rabi goes to the one-loss side, and look who he's got, Spectre Dawn. So they're going to play next Sunday at... is it next Sunday? I think it is, at 8 p.m. on the one-loss side, race to 9, so that won't take long. So Rabi's going to be up against it there. Good luck to him for that. So that's one match that's been added to it. The bracket will show you that we've got Larry through to round 3. He had it looks a comfortable win, but anybody who saw the stream will tell you different, because Larry struggled. Again, and now for Popman's benefit, that guy there is UK Twister. Now, you should remember him from VP3. If you were around in VP3, there's not many do remember him, but I do, because I played a lot of snooker with him. I've just did a spoiler then there, telling you that. But his name was UK Twister. He told me, and he's only been in VP4 for 10 months. So he's been away for a long, long time. But he's come back. For some reason, changed his name to Phil MW44, which I don't know why. We've got Tommy and Spudboy still to play. We've got Albinario having got through to round 3. And look who Albinario is going to end up playing in round 3, with the greatest of respect to Liquid. Liquid's not get the game that's going to beat Stub. Stub will be through to round 3, I would suggest. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. So we're going to have a battle there with Albi and Stub, more than likely. We've got these two guys, Balls and River City. Don't know what communication's going on with them. And we've got Coldest Pillow, who's one of the players that's got to that straight Cowboy final, got beat by Cobra in the final in the last tournament there. And he's had comfortable wins so far in the tournament. And he should also be strong favourite for his next match, whoever he plays. And at the bottom, we'll see that Slim lost that battle with Cobra. It was a good game. Slim hung in all the way. But in the end, there's nothing you can do when your opponent's breaking in the final rack and he breaks and runs out. So Cobra squeezed through by 11 racks to 10. So that's where we've got to. And so that will probably draw to a conclusion this unexpected One Pocket match. So I'm going to head off for a coffee. Thank you for your company. I hope you keep well, Popman. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you getting back in here at some time for whatever updated VP4 happens to appear once Steve gets things going. So we'll head out and we will bid you good afternoon and see you all again soon.